It was President George Washington who first envisioned a national university a few blocks from the White House that would attract the best and the brightest students in the country.
I went there on a basketball scholarship. I'm very grateful to GW because we didn't really have a lot of money, and GW was a great opportunity for me. We didn't have a arena like you have right now. We practiced in what you call the Tin Tabernacle.
It was basically just a bunch of bricks, and on top it was a tin roof. The out of bounds were actually the walls.
The tiny gym was too small to host games.
So you'd go to every school and they'd have their own stadium, and ours was Fort Myers in Virginia.
It had buses that ran the students over to the games, and it was an old, dark, cold gym, but that's where we played.
Red Auerbach was recruited to play at GW in 1940 with the promise of a new gym. Bob Talent arrived at GW in 1967 with the same expectation. For nearly 50 years, GW's basketball players continued to dream of a home of their own. In 1975, that dream of an on-campus sports and entertainment arena was finally realized, thanks to the vision and generosity of Charles E. Smith.
The plaque behind us very much sums up Charles E. Smith. He was a trustee member, he was a philanthropist, and he was a humanitarian.
My grandfather, he was very proud of the Smith Center because it was another way in which he had made a difference. He really believed in the student athlete, the student's well-being.
Student athletes couldn't wait to begin playing in their new home. Bob Talent's squad won 20 games in the opening season at the Charles E. Smith Center. The rest, as they say, is history.
When you think of the Smith Center and when you think of the excitement and enthusiasm and all the games that have been played here, there's nothing like it.
I've coached in all the great arenas here. We've played them all. There's no place I've been that gives you that same feeling. Hey, we're playing in the Smith Center tonight. We're going to be okay.
Moments where you're just going, wow, that was magical. That's what the Smith Center is about.
Texas A&M, overtime. Sergio hit a three-pointer at the buzzer.
Sarah Jo Lawrence for three.
Everybody was up out of their seat. The energy flowing through the place was like, oh, it felt like you could touch it.
The greatest moment, I met my wife here in the Smith Center. They called it As the Volleyball Turns because it was sort of a drama.
It's always said as, you remember that shot at the end of the game? Oh yeah, I remember that shot.
I shot an air ball and I was saved by one of the better players ever played here, Mr. Carl Elliott, right at the buzzer. That was the end of the game. Everybody went nuts.
If my grandfather could come and see 5,000 screaming fans, he would be so excited because he liked to see people happy, enjoying themselves, and being in a place that they wanted to be.
I'm here more than I'm in my own dorm, so it's kind of become a second home for me.
This is our house, and it's a house that we share and that we all enjoy and we all support one another. That's what makes this place such a special place.
Everybody's probably visited the Smith Center. You don't just have to be an athlete to come here.
For George Washington students, this certainly is the center of campus.
And we all need that central thing to come around that's GW. And that always has been and will be the Smith Center.
It's also here at the Charles E. Smith Center that students begin their college experience, celebrate its completion at graduation, and where thousands gather to enjoy the best in entertainment.
It's that catalyst for bringing everyone together.
On February 4th, 2008, GW President Stephen Knapp announced the largest single leadership gift in the university's history, $10 million for the transformation of the Charles E. Smith Center, from the Robert H. Smith and Charles E. Smith Family Foundations and Robert and Arlene Kogod.
This building is really going to be welcoming. The building will really draw you in, and the nature of the design really is all about light, transparency, energy, excitement, and truly a beacon project in Washington, D.C. It is an important and critical central facility for the campus itself and the legacy of the Smith and Kogod families.
I think he would feel that one of his many lessons, which is giving back to the community, that had been taught well by him. I think he would feel that this was very appropriate.
GW has a strong sense of, we have a strong sense of who we are. And I think that this fits for GW.
It's going to be one of those, and I'm going to bring my kids, probably bring my kids' over, and say, this is the Smith Center. This is where I spent a lot of my life at college.
We're a close-knit group of people, and we all support each other, and it all takes place in